Jack Tuttle was the guy I told you I thought would be starting quarterback for this team, maybe in just game one, and we'll see how it went. Was injured all fall camp, missed the first 2 games. Sherrone Moore addressed his injury situation. Jack's throwing more this week and looks like he'll be ready to go. Jack, I talk about you. Jack, you throwing this week? Jack Tuttle, Jack Lotteray, Young Harbaugh. We're going to give somebody $25, hopefully, as long as we get a score prediction. We didn't get one against Fresno State, but let's get one this week against Arkansas State. So towards the end of the video, about 2-3 minutes till the end of the video, scroll down there. I'll tell you how you guys can win $25 in a Venmo transfer from us to you to watch throughout the rest of today's Michigan Football Report. We got a lot to talk about. It is the Michigan Football Report with James Yoder, with Young Harbaugh. Let's go. A lot of people go to college for 7 years. They're called doctors, and Jack Tuttle, the 7-year senior, was at Utah for a year, was at Indiana for 4 years, I guess, and now his second year at Michigan prior to re-aggravating his injury, right? If you guys remember back to the summer, end of the summer, kind of coming out of 7-on-7 warm-ups, etc., I said, look, it looks like Jack Tuttle is the best thrower of the ball. Alex Orji may be who they go with down the line, but I actually thought before fall camp started and we heard that Tuttle had been pulled from practice and wasn't playing and never returned, that I thought Tuttle would start game 1 and likely game 2 with Orji mixing in, but it became Davis Warren, maybe for different reasons overall, but I think all of them maybe come back to that. Alex Orji just wasn't that good of a thrower of the ball. We will tell you a little more about what we think happens with this Michigan quarterback situation throughout today's Michigan Football Report. But Jack, part of my job here at Chat Sports, I do channel reviews, was reviewing this guy, right, our sister channel, Alabama Football Report, our guy Chris. And I saw this at the very beginning of one of his videos. He's challenging us to a contest, but didn't even tell us. That's kind of like, I don't know, hey, let's run to the end of the street. I'm walking the street. Whoever gets there wins. I'm just not going to tell you we're in a contest. I'm just going to take off at the very end. But we had like 100 unsubscribes. I bet we had a bunch of Texas people subscribe to the channel last week and then unsubscribed after the game. So our number came down like 100 plus after the game. So according to the numbers, those were his from yesterday. We are 25 subscribers back from them this month through 9.5 days. So let's not lose on the field, on YouTube, like Michigan just lost on the field. Let's make sure we are beating them. So share the link with a friend. Also, if you haven't subscribed yet, it's the Michigan Football Report, the most watched Michigan football watch, most listened to, most consumed on any platform in 2022 and 2023. We're trying to make it a 3rd straight year, just like Michigan with their 3 straight Big Ten titles. We'll go for 4, like Michigan is in 2025. So is Jack Tuttle going to be to the rescue for this Michigan offense, which is one of the worst in college football right now? He was said to, from sources, said to be the best by far, like I just mentioned, in informal 7-on-7 passing-only drills. Missing the first 2 games, but it's going to be back in practice this week and be suiting up in the game, like Sherrone Moore said at that quote at the very beginning. Now, I don't think he is going to play this week against Arkansas State. I do not think he is going. Maybe never know. Maybe they get him in the very end of the game. He's not going to start. Let's just maybe say that. I do not think he will start against USC, barring wildly negative circumstances like an injury to Davis Warren or just a god-awful play from Warren and Alex Orji. But after that USC game, right, depending on where we go, if they win and Davis Warren looks good and he's kind of got that 5-year non-playing rust off of his arm, and Michigan beats USC, maybe goes in the next week and beats Minnesota, he's basically cemented his spot. Michigan would be 4-1 at that time out of the month of September. He basically would have cemented his spot as Michigan starter. But if Michigan were to lose, or even if they win against USC, but the offense just looks absolutely disastrous, like it has for a majority of the last 2 games, then Tuttle could be ready to take over the reins maybe after the USC game. Hell, maybe they even give him a shot, depends on what Davis Warren does this week. He's got 2 starts under his belt. Ironically, he was a backup quarterback, right? The main backup quarterback to both starters in the national championship game last year, right? Michael Penix back in 2019 and 2020 took over for Penix, started 2 games in 2020 after his injured when they were both at Indiana. And then, of course, J.J. McCarthy. Both those guys were top 15 draft picks in this past year's NFL draft. And Tuttle was right on their hip as their backup for, a couple, 3, I think, in total. He was the main backup of his prior 6 seasons in college football. I ask you guys this question. Will Jack Tuttle start a game this season? I want to hear what you guys are thinking. I'm going to say yes, but I don't know how many. I'm not saying it's going to be the rest of the season, but I will say he will start at least 1 game this season. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments on Jack Tuttle and his potential future as a Michigan football quarterback. Got a chance to meet quite a few Michigan Football Report viewers this week, but it was pretty interesting. I was standing there with my sister. One of my friends who's a Texas grad came up for the game at halftime, and this young man, Chase Bonnie _1, says, I was the kid who came up to you at halftime to get a picture. Sherrone Moore looks sleepy out there. What is with him? This is some good analysis because Chase can't be that old. I would guess 12 years old max. I'm not really sure. But, it's he's not a grown man or anything like that, but he's got some good analysis here. What is with him keeping Davis Warren in? Try something new because it obviously doesn't work. We will talk about that in one moment, but I did want to tell you about the game I went to on Saturday. It wasn't great for the play, but it was actually a fun game to take to the family, and I was able to take my wife, sister, son, and some other family members there because of Game Time. We use Game Time here at the Michigan Football Report. Jack and I went to the national championship with Game Time, last-minute tickets, the best seats, and you can see your seats from the app, views from your seat, which is a great feature to have, especially if you've gotten a seat in the past. All of a sudden, you've got something obstructing your view. Game Time is a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting your tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. The get-in price for USC game in a couple weeks, under $700 for two great seats around the 20-25 yard line, and that's what makes Game Time awesome. Last-minute deals, all-in pricing, and seat views right in their app. I was there, as I mentioned, with my wife, my sister, my son. We had great seats, and we're able to all sit together thanks to Game Time. That's us down on the field right before the game, and those are our seats. On the visitor sideline, nevertheless, but right around the 30-ish yard line, halfway up the Michigan football stadium stands. Game Time is amazing. We love them. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. The link is down in the comments and the description of today's Michigan Football Report. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time. All right, back to my guy, Chase. Chase, if you're watching, at James Yoder on Twitter, at Michigan Football Report on Instagram. I really wish they had a DM feature on YouTube because I'd love to say, hey, Chase, send me that photo. I'd love to show the people the photo that we took. I think it was you. I believe it was your brother, but I wasn't 100% sure. It was a brother or a friend or a cousin or something like that. Send me that photo if you get the opportunity. I'd love to put it here on the show. So we're saying, why are we sticking with Davis Warren? Try something new, and maybe that new trying thing is seventh-year senior Jack Tuttle. Let's get to know him if you're not wildly familiar with a guy that no one expected to be a starting quarterback at Michigan when he transferred before the 2023 season. If you go back, seventh year, so 2018, he was the number 10 overall recruit in the country, according to 24/7 Sports. Number 8 quarterback. He enrolled early at Utah, right? So he's been in college since January of 2018. It is now September of 2024, so he's going a full 7 years. And enrolled early at Utah, no action that year, transferred to Indiana, as you see. Got a couple starts in 2020 for Indiana. Then was there another couple years, 21 and 22, not as the starter, but then transferred to Michigan and is now a seventh-year senior at Michigan for this year. So as a seventh-year senior to the rescue, I hope it doesn't get to that point, but if he is indeed the better quarterback and was the favorite to start at least the first couple games because of Alex Orji's shortcomings, Davis Warren got elevated to that spot. I think there's a chance we could see him in the starting lineup for this Michigan football team if things do not go well, which, folks, they have not been going well through the first 8 quarters of this 2024 season. Michigan is a 23.5-point favorite. That's crazy to me. That's crazy. I think that's too much. I mean, Arkansas State's won their first 2 games. They haven't really been close. I haven't done a full deep dive. I'm still recovering from the mental anguish that I was put through on Saturday against Texas. But Michigan's stats stink. One of the worst scoring, one of the worst total defenses in the country, 7th in scoring defense, and they only gave up 10 points in the first game, 103rd in scoring offense. Over under 48.5 in this one, Jack. I actually don't think that's possible to go over. I'm going to bet the under. I think the over-under should be like 40, right? At best. I don't know. I don't see Michigan scoring more than 28 points at all, but we'll see how things shake out. This game is on Big Ten Network, noon. It is homecoming from Ann Arbor. We don't expect to see Jack Tuttle in the starting lineup this week, but you never know. See how things shake out. This could be a team with USC coming to town next week that is 2-2 coming off a national championship. They were 2-2 in 1998, maybe even 0-2 or maybe 1-2 to start the year. Lost to Notre Dame, lost to Syracuse early on before having ripping off a bunch of victories to ultimately losing the season finale to Ohio State that year. You know who that quarterback was, Jack? Tom Brady. Mason Graham's been getting criticized today, most notably by Taylor Lewan. This has gone viral a little bit on Twitter on the Bussin With The Boys podcast. I saw Lewan and his co-host, what's the guy's name? Will Compton. They walked on the field pregame. It was pretty obvious. Compton was actually the Nebraska guy, decked out in Michigan football gear. And they both had a bunch of things to say about Michigan, but both had something to say about Mason Graham in particular. And I didn't want to bore you guys with the in full quotes, but this is basically the genesis of it, is that he felt that Mason Graham was like apart from the rest of the team. Did one part of the quote saying, hey, in the second quarter, there's a timeout. The defense all runs over the sideline, and Mason's just walking. He mentioned another time later on in the game where everyone was getting riled up, everyone was getting excited, and Graham was just kind of like, whatever, and they both compared him to Aiden Hutchinson, right? He's like, can you imagine Aiden Hutchinson, same kind of guy, same type of level talent, defensive line, acting like that? No, he been getting fired up. He been getting guys' faces. And I think with USC next week, right, I haven't heard anything. There's been no sources on this. I'm not giving you any inside information on this. I just know we've seen this in the past with other teams in this me first era of college football, NIL and transfer portal, and everything that goes into it. We've seen plenty of guys, right? Ohio State's kind of the kings of it. Jackson Smith and Jigba, one of the Bosa brothers, I think one or two other players, where all of a sudden, 2, 3, 4, 5 games in the season, it's not going well either from a team or personally. They're just going to shut it down. I'm injured. I don't want to re-injure myself. I'm going to the NFL draft. Now, I would be so disappointed if Mason Graham or Kenneth Grant or Colson Loveland or anyone like that on Michigan's team decided to shut it down unless they were seriously injured. But this is a team that's achieved all their goals, right? They won a national championship, at least this locker room, these players, especially the NFL ones. And if this is a 2-2 team and they're looking like crap, there's a chance that if they don't believe in this new coaching staff, that you could lose the locker room and have some of these, expected to be leaders of the team kind of check out. We don't want to lose to Arkansas State. We don't want to lose to USC. We also want to lose on YouTube to the Alabama Football Report. So they challenged us without even telling us. Yesterday, we had 271 subscribers so far this month. They had 310. We're gaining on them, right? We have 28 more from since then, and they only have, what was the number, like 20 or something like that, Jack? I can't remember what they had, like 301, so 23. So let's make sure we do not lose the YouTube subscriber battle. Subscribe to the channel, youtube.com/MichiganTV. And if you guys want to do me a big solid, send that link to a friend that loves the Wolverines as much as you do. How about this question coming in from Charles Edelin? He says, I don't know why Yoder was baffled by the inability to run. They replaced the entire O-line with inexperienced guys, and Harbaugh left, who was really the coaching O-line, and QB can't throw, yada, yada, yada. And I do agree with a lot of that. And I'll tell you why I was baffled in just a moment. But quick reminder, we are doing not quick reminder, I teased this at the beginning of the show. It's going to be a Michigan football Arkansas score prediction. We did this for the first game, Arkansas State this week, Fresno State in the first game. $25. Go down in the comments. Now, I'll pin this comment right below the video. So if you want to make sure that we see your comment, reply to the pinned comment, right? The first one, just hit reply and give me a score prediction. Of course, tell me who's going to win. You cannot edit the comment in any facet. You have got to get it in before kickoff, noon Eastern on Saturday, or you're disqualified. If you edit it, we just assume you went in after the game was over and changed it and are trying to get credit for it. So go down there. First person to correctly predict the score, we will send them a $25 reply to that comment after the game and send you a $25 Venmo for doing so. Back to Charles. Look, I'm not going to say that I'm a homer, but I was a real down on Michigan guy in 2017 with that disastrous season and what happened against Ohio State 2018. I was just so distraught after that 62-39 beatdown against Ohio State in 2018. I just became a hater in 2019 and in 2020. And when this team came roaring back over the last 3 years and went 40-3, something changed my brain, okay? All right, Charles? And what changed my brain was no matter who is on the field for this team, this Michigan team, this DNA of the guys on the field, they understand how that they're going to win, and there's nothing that's going to change what this team does. They're going to win, they're going to win, they're going to win. But that's not the case, right? This offense is replacing 10 starters, and I didn't think they would be a great offense. I thought it'd be more like the 2021 offense early on, or maybe even 2015 where they'd struggle, but it wouldn't look like a Rich Rod 2008 offense. It wouldn't look like a Brady Hoke with that chump Devin Gardner 2013 or 2014 offenses, maybe more of the 14. And it's worse in some regards of those offenses, maybe not 2008, which was a really tough one for Michigan, but it's been worse, right? The offensive line has really struggled, right? The Pro Football Focus grades that you're seeing for this offensive line, terrible. The running game is non-existent, and I didn't expect it to be as bad as it is. And I didn't expect these wide receivers. There's plenty of highly recruited wide receivers on this team. They can't get open at all down the field whatsoever. So why I was surprised is because I have just been conditioned over 36 months, over 3 football seasons, over a national championship, that Michigan plays to win and does win the game. So I am resetting my expectations. We got Jack to wear a Michigan football hat. Yesterday he was in protest. He's always wearing Michigan gear, and we produce a jersey, a hat, a T-shirt, something like that. He was protesting yesterday. Now we got him back with the hat. We're going to get him back in the full guard when Michigan wins this game and, of course, gets the what will be maybe an upset over USC, who is now ranked higher than Michigan, coming up next week. We'll have a video for you on Wednesday. We're going to be taking more of your questions from using hashtag Michigan. Till then, go Blue.